Big breakthroughs in medical research can literally save millions of lives. But those life-changing breakthroughs require both private and corporate philanthropy. We set up Hearts and Minds to be able to make those contributions to medical research, but every year, in perpetuity. The amazing thing we've got is the best financial minds in Australia and the world, providing their time for free, and instead of fees, we're able to give to medical research.
The donations from Hearts and Minds means that we can truly have impact when it comes to really grow the next generation of researchers who will tackle those thorny problems.
In Australia, government funding, just like everywhere else in the world, is for what we already know. When individuals come together and give through an organisation like Hearts and Minds with a focus on real impact in people's lives, that's what really makes a difference.
One of our real breakthroughs was the ability to prolong the time that a donor heart remains healthy from 4 hours to now 14 hours. As you can imagine, that allows us now to get a heart from anywhere in Australia, and that allows better matching and better outcomes.
What they're giving us is the opportunity to think, to strategise about what are we going to do next and what's the next game-changing thing that we can do that's likely to make a difference for children.
So I was involved in the care of a young boy who developed progressive muscle weakness. All of a sudden we realised that we had a treatment that we could offer him, which was Ventolin. And by starting that Ventolin treatment, he went from being wheelchair bound to being able to play soccer.
There was tremendous pessimism that people thought if you had a psychotic illness that there was no way you could get better. But what we've been able to show is that we can actually identify the very earliest signs of schizophrenia, and maybe we're at the point where we might be able to prevent it from happening at all in some people.
One of our projects is using CCTV footage to be able to see if you can pick up risks that people might be exhibiting if they're on their way to maybe making a suicide attempt. And the possibility of going to scale is enormous.
Medical research is not about lab coats and petri dishes. Medical research is about lives being better tomorrow than they were yesterday for people affected by diseases. We've now delayed the onset of type 1 diabetes by up to 2 years. With more research, 2 can become 5, 5 can become 10, and eventually will prevent the disease once and for all.
Personally, connection with Hearts and Minds community makes me feel excited and empowered. I can do the work now that I wouldn't otherwise.
We go from that basic neuroscience research through to clinical translation. So this means that we can figure out how diseases might work, develop drugs for them and actually get them into patients.
When I was a young scientist, we were taught that you couldn't reverse the damage done by neurological disease. We now know it's possible.
I've worked here for a really long time, and you sort of think that you've seen everything, and every now and then you'll see someone walk out of here that you really didn't think they would, and that's what makes everything worthwhile.
The Hearts and Minds community needs to know that your philanthropy makes a real difference to how a child with critical illness survives and thrives.
So to everyone who supports Hearts and Minds, whether it's people at the conference, whether it's the people who provided $500 million when we IPO'd the fund, thank you for supporting Hearts and Minds. But mostly, we owe a huge debt of thanks to our fund manager partners who give us their time, their money, and their incredible ideas so generously. Without them, we literally have nothing. So thank you.